Hey, it's Dr. Phil, and I've been looking in the news again, and something jumped out at me, so I just had to tell you the real story instead of what you've been reading. And I'm talking about what I call pretty and privileged. Now, this is a story that has captivated the media, but it's for all the wrong reasons.
Do you remember that 20-year-old University of Georgia student who was arrested for speeding?
Lily Stewart has been arrested again.
A young girl, her name is Lily Stewart, 20 years old, sophomore at the University of Georgia. Now, she's become an overnight sensation, sadly, not for her intellectual pursuit, sports prowess, or even her humanitarian work. No, that's not the story. Lily Stewart hit headlines for not one, but two glamorous mugshots. Now, let's just unpack what happened here. Lily first was arrested on March 8th for speeding. Not once, but twice. Speeding nearly 80 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Now, she was given a ticket, released. So what did she do? I mean, she got a ticket. That's a wake-up call, right? No, because she immediately sped off again. This time, she hit 84 miles an hour and was arrested on the spot. This time, taken to jail, of course, bonded out, $440. Now, Lily's reaction was pretty casual and dismissive. She told the New York Post, "As soon as I got back in the car, I accidentally started speeding again."
How fast are you going?
I can't tell. The speedometer's melting.
Don't you hate it when that happens, when your car just accidentally starts speeding? By the time I caught myself, he pulled me over and arrested me. Well, she didn't catch herself. The police caught her. So Lily's taken to jail. The first famous mugshot gets taken. Now, Lily's charges are dropped. Maybe they decided she wasn't speeding. I don't know. They just dropped the charges. Rather than expressing remorse, Lily just laughed it off and talked to TMZ.
I didn't know you could get arrested for speeding, and I paid my bond, I got my mugshot. Definitely never experienced anything like that. Hopefully never again.
August 23rd, 3 weeks later, arrested again. This time, breaking into a campus building after hours with friends. I'm sure this was an accident as well. She accidentally sped. I'm sure she accidentally broke into this building. Ran from police, hid, and was charged with obstruction of law enforcement and prowling. This time, bail was $4,000. Now, her quote, "There are some beautiful mugshots. I don't think mine's particularly stunning. I actually think it's a bad photo of me. If you see me in person, I don't really look the same as I do in that mugshot. I don't think it's a great photo of me." Really? Really? How about, "Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I have all these mugshots out there. I wonder what employers are going to think if I go for a job and they pull up this gallery of mugshots about me." Now, why do we need to talk about this? Because we should not just dismiss it as harmless and amusing. Isn't this a symptom of a deeper societal issue? And could this be a reflection of us becoming a narcissistic society where we think, hey, it's true, any publicity is good publicity? Where we think, hey, this is going to get a lot of clicks. I'm getting a lot of attention. What yardstick are our youth and society using to determine what's noteworthy? This just exemplifies how quickly reckless, irresponsible behavior can get normalized, can get celebrated through social media. Lily has become famous and admired for breaking the law and smiling in mugshots. Parents, listen to me. You are not going to be the only voice in your children's ear. So let me encourage you to make sure you are the best voice in your child's ear. social media voices and the sound of click, 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 like, can get deafeningly loud and much more persuasive than common sense. Leadership from a parent that says, hey, listen, kids, sit down here a minute. This may seem like big fun to you right now, but you might be applying for college soon. You might be applying for graduate school soon. You might be applying for a job soon. And any human resource professional worth their salt is going to Google you, put your name in, and see what pops up. And if what pops up is not one, not two, 3 mugshots and some charges, they're going to think, you know what? This kid could have problems with impulse control. This kid could be a sociopath that doesn't think the rules apply to them. This kid is somebody that looks like they're having a good time after they've been arrested. Is this someone I want working for me? This could haunt you the rest of your life. The Gallup poll says half the teens spend 4 hours every day on social media. I think that is way underestimated. Why are people so focused on all this social media? Well, by 10 years old, almost half of the kids have phones, 42%. By 14, over 90%. We're giving them phones to become addicted to social media. That would be as crazy as giving heroin addicts needles. Oh, never mind, we do that.
So I got so much stuff. I mean, literally, they gave me a whole box of syringes. There's a whole box of syringes.
I forgot, we do that on safe zones for drugs. So I guess it does follow. Social media is now the strongest influence in your child's lives. Don't default to social media. They don't care what happens to your child. They could be just a bunch of bots that are just going around clicking stuff. Not even real people. Your child is struggling to get approval from people they don't even know. And when negative behavior is turned into memes, jokes, and viral sensations, we have lost our way. Our moral compass is spinning instead of pointing towards true north. And so we can trivialize serious wrongdoing. Now, wait a minute, Dr. Phil, there, you're saying serious wrongdoing? Come on, the girl was speeding. Was that destructive behavior? Well, I don't know. Let's just think about it. Fact check me here. If you're on the highway, for every 10 miles over the speed limit, your chance of dying doubles. So if it's 55 and you go 65, your chance of dying roughly doubles. You go another 10 miles, it doubles again. You go another 10 miles, it doubles again. So if it's 55 and you're doing 85, it's doubled and doubled and doubled. So yeah, I would think that's destructive behavior. And that's just for who's driving. How about the people that get run into? And if you don't die, the severity of the injuries in a car traveling 80, 85 miles an hour are dramatically worse than if you're going 55. So yeah, I think it is destructive behavior that's being glamorized, sensationalized, and rewarded, getting popularity and notoriety. Is this justice being meted out fairly and evenly? Now, Lily's casual approach to her arrest underscores a much deeper issue of inequality and privilege. For Lily, these arrests seem humorous, trivial, but consider the stark contrast if you are a non-white and not as privileged. Here's a case. Khalif Browder, African-American youth from Bronx, New York. He was arrested at 16, accused of stealing a backpack. Now, he consistently denied having anything to do with it. He didn't have the money for bail. He couldn't pay the $440. He couldn't pay $4,000. This young man spent 3 years in Rikers Island. Now, I've been to Rikers Island. It is not your typical jail. 3 years in Rikers Island awaiting trial suffered intense physical and emotional trauma. 800 days in solitary confinement. Never convicted. Eventually, the charges were dismissed. So he got out when he was 19. At 22, he took his own life. How about Crystal Mason? Black mother from Texas mistakenly cast a provisional ballot, provisional, which means it doesn't get counted, in the 2016 election while on supervised relief, thought that she had the right. Her mistake? 5-year prison sentence. Her conviction was overturned last year. How about Brock Turner and Brian Banks? Turner, a Stanford athlete from a privileged background, spent 6 months, he only served 3, for sexual assault. Sexual assault. 6 months, served 3. Brian Banks, promising African-American athlete, spent 5 years in prison after being falsely accused of a similar crime. Finally, exonerated. His life shattered.
Clasping his hands and shaking with emotion, tears streamed down his face, and he left the courtroom for what he hopes will be the last time.
Opportunities lost forever. People magazine didn't call him for his mugshot. These cases highlight the disturbing reality of unequal justice. Lily's experience is a clear example of how society often treats privileged offenders as amusing exceptions, even glamorous heroes, while severely punishing marginalized groups for lesser offenses. Look, there are implications here, societally, and much broader consequences. A troubling message to young people. It overlooks accountability. It just trivializes the underlying behavior. And it really undermines respect for authority. In fact, there's something called the contagion effect. Young people see this happen and see how it gets treated as glamorous. They will go out and mimic the behavior. It encourages pursuit of superficial fame over character and integrity. Just simply not a good message we're sending our children. We need to step up, even out the treatment of these behaviors, no matter the person's skin color, background, privilege. We need to remind everyone, when you choose the behavior, you choose the consequences. And we're not doing that. And that's the real story.
A lot of products say they're clean, but what does that mean? Ritual has high standards for what clean means, like their essential prenatal multivitamin, which is heavy metal tested, clean label project certified, and GMO-free. It features key mom-to-baby nutrients like folate, choline, and omega-3. Clean isn't clean enough, especially during pregnancy. Get 25% off at ritual.com/prenatal. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.